Live every day as if it were the last, because before you know it, time goes past and life's just not that long. Tell all you love that you love them so, because even if you do, they might not know, and one day we'll all be gone. Taste the wind, don't let it blow.
I grew up on our farm in Illinois, 100 miles west of Chicago. I went to a one-room country school, one teacher for grades 1 through 6. When I was in first grade, at least one time I sat next to sixth grader Roger Malataka to share a music book. Not enough books for everyone to have one. And I felt a special attraction to tall, dark Italian Roger in this mostly white community. I did not fantasize about sex with Roger. I did not know about those wonderful pleasures, male with male. But I, as a first grader, felt a special, cozy, at-home magnetism for Roger. I don't know if Roger, as he grew older, was gay, bisexual, straight. He moved away, and sadly, I do not know if Roger is alive or dead. When I was 12, teenager David worked shirt-free on our farm. I was very attracted to David. Once when I was maybe 13 or 14, my mother came into our bathroom, caught me masturbating. She insisted that I promise not to masturbate. And after that, I felt terribly torn inside between not wanting to break my promise to my mother and wanting to keep enjoying my cock and coming in orgasm. So I started masturbating in a different way. In high school, when certain male athletes came into the library, the invisible spotlight of my attention focused on these male athletes. I needed them, but they apparently did not feel the same toward me. 2 male-female couples in my class got pregnant before graduation. I'm glad I did not have a child to parent, but I envied them for having sex. No teacher in high school, no teacher in college told me that many well-known men, past and present, were gay or bisexual, enjoying sex and romance with men. Michelangelo, Walt Whitman, Leonardo da Vinci, Baird Rustin, Langston Hughes, multitudes more. Now, if you're black or brown or native or Asian, how would you feel if your teachers never spoke about well-known black or brown or native or Asian people, only about white people? If you're a woman, how would you feel if your teachers never spoke about well-known women, past or present, only about men? After I became a sincere young Christian preacher at age 20 in Sterling, Illinois, I became friends with many teenage Chicano guys in that town. And some told me of girls they liked and dated. I envied them for having sex with girls. I never had, even though I was older than they, these young Chicanos. I had no openly gay or bisexual friends. I knew several Bible verses condemned sex between men, but the same Bible, sadly, in hundreds of verses, supported men killing men in war. The same Bible also supported slavery. I did not know that millions of men, past and present, have been in love with men and made love with men in passionate romance. I found out years later, even David and Jonathan in the Bible were in love with each other. Later, in my 20s, when I was no longer a pastor, I told my mother I wanted to have sex with someone. I assumed it would be with a woman, but who? I had never seriously dated a woman. Later, I drove from Albuquerque to Juarez, Mexico. I had sex with a woman sex worker there in Juarez. First time in my life with another human being. But I came before I would have entered her. I was so eager. I had waited for years. And how sad that in my 20s, I felt I had to go to another nation and pay a pimp to have sex with a woman I was not attracted to have sex with another human being for my first time. Very sad. My Spanish was not good. Her English was not good. Far from romantic for her and for me. Later, I had sex with a couple women in Albuquerque and one young woman in Sterling, Illinois, where I had been pastor years before. One night there in Sterling at the Latin American Social Club, I danced with Connie. She said she might not live long, and she said she wanted sex with me. First time ever that a woman on the dance floor had told me that she wanted sex with me. And I knew she was living with a man, so I asked her, well, what about him? She said they were liberated. They were free to have sex with other people. I told my dear friend Johnny Sotelo that evening. Sadly, Johnny has died since. I told him about the situation and how Connie had said that evening she wanted sex with me. He said he thought she was lonely and whatever happens, happens. I went to her place after the dance. Her boyfriend was not home. She and I had sex. And after sex, while I was still lying naked in their bed, Connie kept going to the window watching for her boyfriend. And when he came, she went after him. Where had he been? Doing what? With whom? And I was still lying naked in their bed. Her boyfriend came into the bedroom. He saw me. He was probably kind of shocked to see me there. He knew of me. I had been a preacher years before in that town. I pretended to be asleep. I'm glad her boyfriend did not attack me. And the two of them kept arguing, going after each other. And finally, they both went to sleep in other rooms. As the dawn came, I put on my clothes. I left a wiser man. I learned that some people, not all, but some people who say they are sexually liberated are not sexually liberated. They're still hung up on jealousy and trying to cage the other person. Do not be conned as I was. Actually, I was sexually attracted to two of Connie's brothers, but I never had sex with them. For many years, while my parents were still living, I lived part-time there in Illinois and part-time here in Albuquerque. In late 1976, my friends Steve and Cease here told me they wanted to take me to a place I might like. They took me to a gay bar on Central here in Albuquerque, and never before had I been in a gay bar. I met a young Chicano from Cuba, New Mexico. He and I had sex at my place. My first time ever with any male. I was 31. And soon after, I told my mother. She said she had never known there were gay people in the world. I had feared losing my many straight male friends if I came out openly gay. And some did back off from me because of it and turn cold. But one of them apologized to me years later. And since that first sex with a man 46 years ago, almost 47, I had sex with many, many men. In Albuquerque, Chicago, San Diego, New York City, Madison, Wisconsin, Wichita, Kansas, Peoria, Illinois, San Antonio, Texas, Ohio, and on our Illinois farm. In fact, one time in New York City, within sight of the Statue of Liberty, with a man at the piers. I tasted romance with some men. Bisexual Jose from Mexico, I met when he was 23 at the Spence Hot Springs at Jemez. I had sex more often with Jose than any other man in my life, over 70 times. I deeply loved Jose. Sadly, Jose got involved with drugs. He was locked up. His green card was taken away. Jose was eventually sent back to Mexico. Dear Roberto died of AIDS at 31. I chose my plot at San Jose de Armijo Cemetery close to his grave. Roberto was not his actual name, but that's what I called him. My beloved Don died in a car crash at 25. His mother had me in charge of his memorial service. He's buried at Fairview Cemetery on Yale, southeast. I've gone to his grave many times, kissed the grass above his lips, his cock, his hands, his feet. He died in 1989. Another Don from Taos Pueblo in northern New Mexico. David, whose father was Palestinian American from Michigan. First man in my life that I wept sucking David's toes as we had sex in the beautiful outdoors. David and I met at a gay nudist gathering in Ohio in August 1986. David and I danced together in a Mexican bar in Illinois, not a gay bar, a Mexican bar, but no one attacked us, no one threatened us, and this was 37 years ago. Often we hold the keys to our own prisons. We assume something will not be accepted before we even venture. Before my mother died in 1982, I often told her about my having sex with men. And once she told me she wished she could be a mouse in the corner. She meant to watch me have sex with a man. Sadly, that never happened. I introduced her to Jaime, a young gay Chicano in Houston. He deeply impressed her, but Jaime and I never became lovers. In the 1970s, when I was in Illinois, I wrote to my friend Patty Quintana here in Martineztown, telling her I am gay. And she wrote me back a good letter saying she knew I am gay from the first day she met me years before. And that was years before I had sex with any male. And when I was here in Albuquerque, I wrote to my friend Lupe Olalde in Illinois, telling him I am gay. And he wrote me back a good letter saying he knew I was gay from the first day he met me, years before. Often friends of gay or bisexual persons know years before the gay or bisexual persons come out, if they ever do. I would rather be hated and rejected by some people for who I am than loved by them for living a lie. My mother taught me to tell the truth. I treasure my strong sexual and romantic attraction to certain men. Life is too precious to fake. Romance is too precious to hide. If you're just coming out, tell adult friends you know, adult friends you trust, who have openly gay friends. If you're under 18 and your parents are strongly against being gay, you may need to wait until you are at least 18 and can move out before you tell your parents you are gay. How would we feel if we lived in Gaza? If we had no clean drinking water, no food, no electricity, and many of our family already murdered? How would we feel toward the Israeli government? How would we feel toward the U.S. government? Hundreds of dead bodies decaying in the streets. Almost 200 healthcare workers and journalists murdered in Gaza. I strongly compliment thousands of U.S. Jews who protest and damn the Israeli government's mass murder of thousands of Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank. Have you heard of any Israeli who would trade places with a Palestinian in Gaza? Millions more now, especially in the Middle East, fear and hate the Israeli government and the U.S. government. Thousands of U.S. Jews publicly protesting Israeli government mass murders in Gaza show the world that being a Jew does not mean supporting the murder of thousands of Palestinian children. I have paid no federal income tax for 44 years. I refuse to pay for this government, the United States, to murder millions of people in U.S. wars, past, present, and future, in many nations. I refuse to pay for the United States to cripple, torture, make homeless, terrorize, murder thousands of children, women, and men in Gaza. 1/3 to 1/2 of federal income tax goes for war. I have lived simply and well for many years below the federal income taxable level and below the U.S. poverty level. Sugar is as addictive as heroin. Sugar is far more addictive than cocaine. White flour turns to sugar when digested. Sugar, white flour, sodas are slow poison. Diet sodas, artificial sweeteners are also slow poison. The earlier kids get addicted to sugar, the more likely kids will stay addicted for life. Feeding kids sugar shit, candy, sodas, ice cream, cake, cookies, processed crap is child abuse. Sugar causes or worsens cancer, allergies, heart disease. Sugar causes or worsens all infections, including COVID. Sugar causes or worsens kidney stones, fat bodies, gallstones. Sugar causes or worsens arthritis, alcoholism, other drug addiction. Sugar causes or worsens asthma, weak bones, diabetes. Sugar causes or worsens indigestion, insomnia, headaches, depression, cataracts, high blood pressure. Sugar causes or worsens mental illness, more than 60 conditions. And many years ago, my mother and I were both terribly addicted to sugar shit. Seeing her suffer hell for decades woke me up. My mother was my all-time closest friend. Now I eat healthier than most millionaires or billionaires, even though I live on less than the U.S. poverty level. I eat no processed crap, no sugar shit, no white flour, no artificial sweeteners. Sugar shit sickens and kills millions. Sugar is the gateway drug. I eat lots of healthy sweets, whole, fresh fruit. Whole, fresh fruit. Not fruit juice. We need the whole fruit. Our only home, Mother Earth, is getting hotter because of how many of us, human beings, have lived, especially in the United States and Western Europe, the past 70 years. For thousands of years, the climate has never changed this fast. How many of us have lived, we've heated the atmosphere, the ocean, the land. Fast changes all over the earth. The last 7 years have been the hottest ever on record. less snowpacks in the mountains of New Mexico and other southwestern U.S. states, faster runoff, making forests extremely dry. If the Earth's temperature rises less than 1 degree Fahrenheit in the next 20 years, expect more crazy, dangerous weather, more thunderstorms, more floods, more hurricanes, more tornadoes, more droughts, rising oceans because of melting icebergs and melting glaciers. If the Earth's temperature rises less than 1 degree Fahrenheit in the next 20 years. More hellish forest fires earlier in the season. Thousands of climate scientists all over the world have studied this awful climate crisis for years. And they know far more details about the climate crisis than I, Don Schrader, will ever know. But do most of them make huge changes in how they live because of what they know? Do most of these climate scientists, these educated people, live much different than their neighbors who say there is no climate crisis? Do these climate scientists who know so much live differently than their neighbors who say there is no climate crisis and that humans have not caused the climate crisis? How much good is it to study the climate crisis, to memorize facts and figures, fly or drive hundreds of miles to conferences on the climate, if many of those who know the most refuse to make huge changes in how they live? But no matter how the climate scientists live, no matter how my friends live, how my neighbors live, I am responsible for how I live, how and how much I travel. I'm responsible for the size of home I live in, the amount of water and electricity I use. I'm responsible for what I buy, what I waste, what I eat. I am responsible for my actions, regardless what others do. I am responsible for my example to others. And I'm deeply indebted to many, many people who have opened my eyes and who have inspired me. And with much help, we can change our lives for the better. The head of France, many years ago, Napoleon, said, "If my soldiers knew the truth and what they are fighting for, they would walk off the battlefield." Albert Einstein said, "Our textbooks glorify war and conceal or hide its horrors." Einstein said, "I would rather teach peace than war, love rather than hate. How despicable war is," he said. "It is my conviction that killing under the cloak of war is nothing more than an act of murder." King of Prussia, not Russia, Prussia, King of Prussia, Frederick the Great, said, "If my soldiers were to begin to think, not one of them would remain in the army." Henry David Thoreau said, "It's impossible to give a soldier a good education without making him a deserter. His natural enemy is the government that drills him." U.S. writer Jack London said, "Young men, the lowest aim in your life is to become a soldier. The good soldier never tries to distinguish right from wrong. He never thinks, never reasons. He only obeys. His mind, his conscience are in the keeping of his officer. Unless we were born very premature, we all began drinking our piss when we were inside our mother's womb. The womb's amniotic fluid surrounding the baby is largely the baby's piss. So people who say drinking piss is gross and they could never do it, drank their piss long before they ever drank breast milk or formula or water. Our piss is filtered blood. And as our blood circulates in our bodies, healthy livers remove poisons to go into our intestines and into our shit. And then the clean blood from a healthy liver goes to the kidneys. And our kidneys balance the body's good elements, remove any surplus not needed at that moment. When leaves fall from trees, the leaves are not waste. The leaves are not poison to the trees. Trees grow well when they feed on fallen leaves. And piss is not waste, not poison to our bodies. Our piss is our fountain of life, our unique, perfect living medicine containing hundreds of vitamins, hormones, minerals, enzymes. Drinking our piss purifies our blood. Drinking our piss kills bad germs. Drinking our piss provides nutrients. Drinking our piss signals our body how to heal and to balance the whole system precisely. Drinking our piss is the best medicine for kidney problems. My mother died of kidney disease. I wish I had known back then, when she was alive, how drinking our piss is the best medicine for kidney problems. Drinking piss and massaging our body with piss is the most effective and safest natural healer, and it's free. Drinking piss and massaging the body with piss have helped or healed cancer, diabetes, hepatitis. Drinking piss, massaging the body with piss have helped or healed multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis, allergies, herpes, hyperactivity. Drinking piss and massaging the body with piss have helped or healed tuberculosis, depression, heart problems, schizophrenia. I remember years ago when one of the healers from Mexico, the curanderas, came to Albuquerque, and through an interpreter, because my Spanish is not good, she told me she had healed a man of schizophrenia through piss. Drinking piss and massaging the body with piss have helped or healed almost all physical and emotional illnesses. It's a powerful natural tranquilizer instead of expensive pharmacy drugs that have bad side effects. Our first morning piss is highest in hormones. Piss is great for open wounds. Piss is usually more sterile than distilled water. For best results in drinking piss, drink no booze, no coffee, eat no meat, no dairy, no junk food, no cooked food, smoke no cigarettes, use no table salt, take no drugs of any kind. I say for best results. Now, even if you do some of those things, you can still have some results from drinking your piss. But if you want best results, no junk food, no cooked food, no cigarettes, no table salt, no drugs of any kind, street or prescription. No booze, no coffee. Healthy in, healthy out. And all people who take pharmacy or street drugs should start off with just a few drops of piss by mouth, or use piss for massage and compresses to avoid overdosing, because some of those drugs are in the piss. The more piss we drink, the more our body detoxifies, throws off poisons, the faster our healing. And in severe cases, eating no food, drinking all of our piss and purified water can work best for a few days. The healthier we are, the healthier what we eat, the better our piss tastes. And it's true. For at least 9,000 years in Mexico, 5,000 years in India, for centuries in many other places, millions have drunk their piss for health. Writers from England, France, Germany, India, Israel, the Philippines, the Netherlands, the United States have praised drinking piss to get healthy and to stay healthy. And I strongly recommend these 3 books. Urine Therapy, Nature's Elixir for Good Health, by 2 women in Germany, Flora Peschek-Bomer, PhD, and Gisela Schreiber. Urine Therapy, 2 women from Germany. The Water of Life by J.W. Armstrong of England. And my favorite of the 3, Golden Fountain, The Complete Guide to Urine Therapy. Golden Fountain, The Complete Guide to Urine Therapy by Cohen van der Kroon of the Netherlands. Piss often in a clear glass or a plastic cup to check your piss's color, and aim for light yellow most of the time. Now, if your piss is dark, drink more water. And sometimes, just after a meal, our piss may be rather dark because of the B vitamins in the food we ate. Dark piss not soon after meals can show that our bodies need more water. And I have drunk my piss most days since November 10th, 1999, over 24 years. Often 1 to 2 cups in the morning after I get up. And drink only fresh piss. Never drink aged piss. After several days, the urea in piss changes to ammonia. Aged piss is very good to rub on our faces and our skin of our bodies. It's a natural cleanser, but never drink aged piss. Both fresh piss and aged piss are great to fertilize our garden and trees. Put it on the soil, not on the leaves. And for young plants, dilute 1 part piss with 10 or more parts of water. In ancient Rome and in Germany, people used aged piss to wash clothes. And I soak dirty clothes 12 to 36 hours in water with a pint or more of aged piss before I wash the clothes. Drug companies in the United States have researched for years the ingredients in piss. Why? To make drugs to treat cancer, sterility, heart disease, drugs that will make huge profits for those drug companies. So of course, those drug companies do not publicize the health benefits of drinking one's whole, fresh, free piss. The drug companies want our money. Get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. Not enough sleep demolishes our immune system. Not enough sleep doubles our risk of cancer. Not enough sleep sets us up for dementia and Alzheimer's. Not enough sleep can cause heart disease and strokes. Not enough sleep can lead to depression, anxiety, even suicide. Not enough sleep can make people fat. I strongly recommend the book Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. It's in our Albuquerque Public Library system. Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. The best book I know of about how important enough sleep is to be healthy in our bodies and our minds. And besides 7 to 9 hours every night, a nap, a siesta in the early afternoon, 20 minutes to an hour, helps us to be healthy. Very good for our hearts, very good for us to live long. Prescription drugs and some diseases can keep older people from getting the sleep they need. Enough sleep helps our memory. Enough sleep makes us more creative. Enough sleep helps how we look to be more attractive. Enough sleep protects us from cancer and dementia. Enough sleep keeps us lean and slim, lowers risk of heart attack and stroke and diabetes. Enough sleep helps us to be happier, less depressed, less anxious, easier to live with. Enough sleep helps prevent colds, flu, COVID-19. Driving when sleepy is more dangerous than driving drunk. And sadly, I, Don Schrader, foolishly, absolutely foolishly drove sleepy many times, many years ago. And no wonder my mother worried so much that I would crash. If I had my life to live over knowing what I know now, I would aim to change many things. I would aim never to drive sleepy, never. I could have killed and injured other people and myself. I strongly oppose driving when sleepy or driving after drinking booze. I have not driven any vehicle for over 22 years. I drink not one drop of damn booze. Not enough sleep can worsen PTSD and schizophrenia and all mental disease. The epidemic of not enough sleep is one of the world's worst health problems, especially in the United States and other industrialized nations. Nothing can substitute for enough sleep. Of course, we need to eat only healthy, raw plant foods. We need to walk and exercise much. We need sunshine on our naked skin. We need close friends. We need to forgive others and ourselves. We need to apologize and ask forgiveness, but none of these can substitute for enough sleep if we want to live long and healthy. Aim for 7 to 9 hours in bed every night, no exceptions. Never consider yourself lazy. Never consider other people lazy for getting enough sleep. I enjoy being strongly sexually attracted to certain men, much more to a man's body than his cock and his face, much more to a man than his body. My attraction for him never guarantees he's attracted to me. I aim to be friends with any man, any woman who sincerely wants my friendship. But I aim to flirt only with men I'm sexually attracted to. I aim to flirt only with men I'm quite sure will not turn mean and crazy, even if I find out they are not attracted to me or to any man. I aim to respect his right to say no. I do not want to be a pest to any man, no matter how attracted I am to him. I aim not to beg. I aim not to chase. I aim not to pout if his answer is no. I treasure hot sex and passionate romance with certain men, but I will not for any man on earth stop publicly damning all wars. I treasure hot sex and passionate romance with certain men, but I will not for any man on earth pay federal income tax for war. I treasure hot sex and passionate romance with certain men, but I will not for any man on earth stop living simply. I treasure passionate romance and sex with certain men, but I will not stop living mostly naked when I'm warm enough. I will not own a car. I will not eat meat, dairy, cooked food, and sugar shit. No, no, no. I will not drink booze or sodas for any man on earth, no matter how strongly attracted I am to him. I will not stop drinking my piss for health. My favorite contact sport is affectionate hot sex and cuddling, naked and sober, with lean, healthy men I'm attracted to and who are attracted to me. Why is a photo of two men boxers painfully beating, bruising, brain injuring each other considered okay in the sports section of U.S. newspapers? But a photo of two men passionately pleasuring each other in affectionate sex would be forbidden as obscene in those newspapers. Imagine a world where violence between men has no fans and where passionate sex and romance between men or between women or between a man and a woman are celebrated by all people, both men and women. Mothers and fathers, do your sons and daughters of all ages feel and know they can tell you the full truth about their lives, and you will still love them deeply regardless what they've done? Mothers and fathers, do you tell your sons and daughters the full truth about your lives. And if you don't, why would you be surprised that your sons and daughters hide big portions of their lives from you? People's addiction to eating meat, cheese, milk, ice cream cause at least 1/3 of the catastrophic climate crisis. I eat no meat, no dairy. A meat eater uses many times more land for their food because raising the animals on land and then eating the animals takes far more land than if we eat only plant foods, fruit, vegetables, greens, seeds, nuts, grains, and beans. Raising animals for meat and dairy takes an enormous amount of water for the animals to drink and to grow the crops for those animals to eat. Protein from eating meat and dairy requires more than 11 times more gas and other fossil fuel than getting the same amount of protein from grain. Animals raised for food in the United States produce many times more shit than all the people in the United States. And runoff of shit from the massive factory farms pollute rivers and lakes. Many fish contain poison chemicals. Why? From the polluted waters of lakes and rivers. Chickens, pigs, turkeys, fish, cows are intelligent social animals who can suffer, who feel pain and fear, just as we humans do, and just as our pet dogs or cats do. Billions, not millions, billions of animals are imprisoned, mutilated, violently killed by the United States meat, dairy, and egg industries every year. I stopped eating meat, dairy, and eggs many, many years ago. No God heard and helped millions murdered in the Nazi concentration camps, gas ovens. 6 million Jews, plus gypsies, gays, communists, Jehovah's Witnesses, handicapped people, murdered in the Nazi concentration camps and gas ovens. And many of those people prayed desperately to God for help, but no help came. So why would I expect God to hear and help me? Jesus said, "Not one sparrow will fall to the ground without your Father's will. You are more valuable than many sparrows." Are the disasters, the atrocities suffered by millions for thousands of years according to God the Father's will? Millions have begged God for help from earthquakes, fires, floods. Millions have begged God for help from tornadoes, family violence, rape. Millions have begged God for help from hurricanes, cancer, torture. Millions have begged God for help from starvation and war. Jesus promised that God will help those who pray, but sadly, that's not true. I was a very sincere young Christian preacher 57 years ago, first in Virginia, then in Illinois. And for many years, I prayed to, I preached about, I sang about God, my imaginary friend. I swallowed make-believe, feel good, make-believe about God. I spread feel good, make-believe about God. But with the help of many people, I slowly woke up. It was a long, long journey. I was wrong. I apologize. I wish we had a fair, loving, all-powerful, real parent God to help all people who desperately pray for help. But wanting that does not make it so. I want always to be open to make wise changes in how I live. I do not want to get stuck in ruts. I do not want to keep doing something just because I've always done it that way for many years. I've made many huge changes in my 78 years, and I want to stay ready to make more changes until the day I die, if I learn wiser new ways or wiser old ways to live. Many people have taught me. Many people have loved me. Many people have inspired me. And I'm deeply indebted to all of them. I collect wisdom to live it and to share it with anyone interested. And I thank Mark, Eddie, and Travis for their excellent help dozens of times running the cameras, the controls for this program. And thanks to all of you watching. If you see me anywhere, I welcome you to talk with me if you want to. I love personal questions. And I suppose most adults in this country have never heard a friend or relative or a stranger say that. I love personal questions, and I treasure heart-to-heart conversations. To your health and to my health, my fresh piss. Thank you.
Before you know it, time goes past and life's just not that long. Tell all you love that you love them so, because even if you do, they might not know, and one day we'll all be gone. Taste the wind, don't let it blow on by. Sing songs of love, let the music get you high, and when it's said